Hi everybody, it's Diana with Stamping with Di. Welcome to my YouTube channel and this week's Mimeograph Monday with a twist. And I'm going to be doing a request today by Rhonda Monzalowski, and it's been one of the stamp sets I've been wanting to play with, so I was like, oh, I need to do this. And so hopefully Rhonda, you are watching and you will like this. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Diana and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm in Santan Valley, Arizona. So welcome so much to my channel. Today, if you are new, is my Mimeograph Monday with a twist. So I'm going to basically do a project out of one of the current catalogs, and then I'll do a twist on it. So I'll be doing 2 projects today. And this is really fun. This is an awesome thing to do if you say you lose your mojo, or you just kind of run out of ideas, and so this is what I do. So you can get these recipes that I use on my blog. So if you go to my blog over here, just click on the top and it'll say current catalogs, then click on that and another page will open up, and then you'll be able to get the recipes for the main catalog as well as the celebration brochure and the mini catalog. Now when these catalogs retire, then those recipes come down, so make sure you grab them when you can. And this is just a way for me to see what they use. Sometimes there's boo-boos, you know, we're all human, but then sometimes I'll go, oh, I didn't even realize that was used. So like this card right here, it said a certain color cardstock was used, and I can't see it, so I didn't use it. But so yeah, so that's what today's all about. So I'm gonna stop blabbing. Make sure you say hi. I am off watching the live premiere with you in the chat room, and that's off to the side. So if you have any questions, you want to jibber jabber, it's so fun chatting over there. Just join the conversation. If you are new to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe, because that way you won't miss out when I do my videos. All right, so I will adjust my camera. So close your eyes just for a second while I get adjusted. So the card we're going to do today is this one here, and like I said, Rhonda's the one that requested it. I still want to make this one, so this one will be coming as well, but this is the one we're going to do here. I have my recipe, and like I said, this just helps me figure out what was used, because sometimes you look in the catalog and you can't really tell. So one thing that they did say was used was basic white cardstock, and I couldn't really, the only thing I could think of is that maybe the card itself was basic white and then they built on it with the other colors, but I chose not to use that. I just used the very vanilla, the crumb cake, the petal pink, and I think that was all the cardstocks I used. Now this is a 4x4 card. All right, so this is what we're using. We're using the Delicate Forest, and it has a coordinating die that goes with it. All right, so I have adjusted my lights to see if I don't get that glare or whatever, so hold on a second. I don't think it's as good a lighting, so I'm going to bring them down a little bit, and we're just going to put up with it. All right, I'm going to use my grid sheet stuff anyway, so I don't think it's going to matter so much. All right, I've just been fiddle farting a little bit with my lights. All right, so let's get to the card. So I did some of the die cutting ahead of time just to save some time. So this is very vanilla, and like I said, it's a 4x4 card, and this is the catalog version, and it's on page 17 of the mini catalog. All right. And then we have our little pieces here. So we've got our crumb, we have another piece of vanilla, and that petal pink. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of lay these where I think I want to put them. And that looks good right there. All right. And then I'm going to put my greeting and before I assemble. So we're going to use crumb cake ink. We are also using the Moody Mauve. And that's what our greeting's going to be. So our greeting is hoping each passing day lets in a little more sunshine. So that's a perfect little greeting for our little wood scene. And then I'm just going to stamp that up in here. Okay, now I can move these away because I know where my greeting is. And then I'm going to stamp with crumb. Okay, so I want this and this. So we're going to put this little clump of trees right here. And then there's a shadowy kind of thing. And that goes under the trees. All right. So now we can put our card together. Now that might not be the identical place it was in the catalog, but that's how it worked when for how I have my my little dies. All right, so we have the petal pink. And so I punched all these out. I'm just making sure I didn't miss any because it's easy to do. But this die is nice because there's also ones that stay attached. So all I do is I flip it over on the back side and I just push that through with my pick tool. And now these leaves will kind of have a 3D. Oh, I missed that one. These will have like a 3D kind of look because it's coming out. Okay, so that looks good. And I'm going to glue this on with the green tip glue. And I'm just basically going to put it along the top there. All right, so I'm just going to put that green tip glue around the edges and a little bit on these trees here. So let me know if you got this bundle or not. It's super fun. I did a totally different card for my twist. All right, so this is going to go on here, and I'm just using the card edges to glue that on. Okay. We'll just hold that a little bit. Okay. And then we have our vanilla. Now before I glue my vanilla, I can see if it's going to be good as well. And it looks pretty good. If I want, I could glue it up a little bit. And I think I will. I think I'm going to move it up a tad. It won't matter here because my little crumb cake pieces are going to be covering this down here. So I don't mind if it comes down, and I will just use the card, you know, the edge of this card to trim that. So I'm just going to make this be a little bit shorter. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to push these leaves out. I missed a few more of these. So just push them from the back. You can also, you know, once you get it glued, you can pull them forward if you want a little more dimension to it. All right, but I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just take my green tip glue. Now I am going to trim this on the top a little bit, so I'm not going to put my glue clear to the top. I'm going to do my edges. So this is a fun die because you could stack as many as you want, just adjusting them to get that 3D kind of forest look to them. All right, so I'll bring my card over, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to glue this, but I'm going to come up just a little bit, but I'm going to keep my edges even. But now by doing that, I have a little bit more, I can see a little bit more of the petal pink, so it looks like a shadow from those leaves, you know, the tree canopy. All right, so I'm just going to let that dry before I trim it. So while that's drying, I have these other pieces here, and this one's going to go down here, and then this one is going to go down here. So it's really fun because it makes it just makes the scenery because of all the little layering that you have. All right, so I'm going to use my green tip glue, and I'm just going to kind of put it on the edges because it's just going to be glued here and here. I don't want to put glue in the center here, so I'm just going to do my edges where it's going to be touching. And these are pretty delicate, so just you know, be careful when you're removing them from the die, and be careful when you're gluing them. Okay. That looks good. And then this guy is going to go over top of here. And I'm going to put dimensionals on this one, so it sticks out a little bit. So I'm going to put there, and there, so that it's not the same as the other. And just get these backs off here. All right. And then that's going to go right over top. Like that. So cool, huh? Now I can see I should have moved this one down a little bit. See that? Because it's in the way of my words. So that's easy fixed. Just going to snip a little bit. Snipped a little bit off, and then you can see it. This one's not too bad. So I wasn't paying attention to that when I glued it on there. There we go. So look how cute. All right, so here's the one I did earlier. So you can see I paid a little bit more attention over here where this one was. And I totally forgot that this little stamp was stamped with crumb on this vanilla piece, but you don't see much of it, so that's basically why I forgot. But you can see that I put these a little higher than this one, and it kind of hid my greetings just a little bit. All right, so let's do the one I did on camera, which was this one here. So all I have to do is I'm going to take my snips, and I'm just going to trim the top off, just following that folded card base as my guide, and there you have it. So this is a catalog version. So now let's get to my twist. Now the twist, I wanted it to be a regular size card. I'm still picking Very Vanilla. I don't use Very Vanilla very often, but I thought it would be fun to use the Very Vanilla. I'm also using the crumb cake again. And this time I'm using pecan pie as well. Okay, so I have just some different layers, and I need to poke my holes out. I'm also going to use the Fluffiest Friends stamp set with this one. because this kind of reminded me of maybe like a little cave that the beaver could be in. You could even have the bunny be in it, the bear. I mean, you could probably do any of the little animals in there, but I wanted to put the beaver in here. All right, so it looks pretty good. And then I'll poke these out. So this one, that kind of looks cool with that petal one there, doesn't it? So when you do it as a regular size card, then you can do more of the die. Like this is the full die, so you're not getting that arch, like that empty arch, you know, the other one, because it was like a smaller piece. The bottom of it was like open, right, because of that. All right, so let me get, I didn't clean my die out when I was doing it. And that's important. See, I had that petal pink in there, so it doesn't want to release that because I had another piece in there. All right, but that's okay. No worries. I'm just going to leave it. Oh, I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to trim that. All right. So we've got that, that, and that, and that, and that. All right. So this is the piece. This is just, what is this, 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to get my little beaver. So here's my cute little beaver. And I'm going to color with the blend. So I'm going to stamp my beaver with the memento. Now I took my label off of here because it was catching when I opened up the pad, because my label maker label is a little thicker than you know, the label that's on the, you know, the craft pad itself. So that looks a little bit different. All right, so we are going to stamp our beaver with the memento. And I think I want him over here. I cut a few pieces of vanilla just in case. All right, so let me bring these pieces over. So I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just going to kind of line these up a little bit. So that's going to go here. And then I have these other pieces. So I think that looks good. Yeah, he looks good there. All right. So while I have my pad open, I'm also going to stamp the one of the greetings from that set that says, oh my gosh, where is it? Where is it? I'm like looking at it. Oh, I need to do my little under the beaver first. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Because I'm going to use that same little shadow that I used for the other one. I'm going to put this under the beaver. So he's just kind of sitting on the dirt inside his cave. All right. And too much stuff. Too much stuff. All right, so here's my little greeting. Now this is the greeting that comes in the whatchamacallit set, the Delicate Forest set, because the Fluffiest Friends, they don't have any greetings with them. But I thought this was a perfect one, and it's just sending our love, because the little beaver's holding a heart made out of twigs. So I'm going to go sending our love, and I'm going to put this down here on the bottom. And you might go, our, sending our, who is our? Well, that would be the little missus in the inside of the card. And she's just peeking in. All right. So that's all the stamping I'm going to do. So I'm gonna let those dry just a tiny little bit before I start to color them. All right, so while they're drying, I am gonna take my crumb and I'm gonna take my number 600 and I'm just going to put a little color around the edges of some of these leaves, just to add a little something something. I don't want to color them all the way in. You could totally color them all the way in if you wanted, but I'm just going to put a little bit here and there just to add a little bit of a shadow. It's not super dark. All right, same thing here. Now you could use your blending brush as well, but since I have my blends out, I'm just using that. So that just put a little shadow around the edge. Okay, and then I want to do it here as well. So I'm just kind of tracing along that like that. So now these ones aren't just totally plain. They've got a little something to them. You could do like little red, and then they would almost look like little berries. That would be cute too. All right, so then I'll just set those aside. Now these little guys, they should be dry by now. So let's start to color them. All right, so we want light gray granite, and I'm just going to put a little shadow around the Mrs. and the Mr. And his cute little feet. So this is light gray granite, and this will just make him pop off the page a little bit in there. All right, I also want to put a little gray granite on his tail. Now, I didn't do this on the other card, so we'll see how it works, but I'm going to just take a little gray granite and I'm just going to make a little mark just so he has a little bit of color. And then you can decide when I show you the other one if you liked that or not. I just wanted to have a little bit of something behind him in the cave. All right, so that was light gray granite. Now I'm going to take the dark smoky slate and put a little bit so on his nose, a little bit on the feet, and on the tail here. I also forgot the Mrs. hands. We can't forget her. Okay. Because she's the one that probably made the little heart, right? Go on up there, Jerome. Hold that heart while I take the picture. All right, so now we're going to take Flirty Flamingo for their cute little cheeks and their ear holes. And my light Flirty is just about had its end. All right, then we're going to take 600. Is that the one I used before? It is. All right, so 600 is the one I used when I put a little bit on the crumb cake. So I'm going to use it now. So we're going to go 600, and we're going to color our beavers in with the 600. And I'm going right over their little pink cheeks because you can still see it subtly underneath. Isn't she cute peeking in there? Okay, so this is 600. So I'll do the same thing the guy. And I don't know why I'm using the big side. I never use the big side. I wasn't paying attention when I took the lid off. That's alright. I haven't messed up this tip yet, because you know I like to flick speckles, and it is kind of hard on the tip. Alright, so there is 600. Speaking of, I'm going to put some little flicks as well as those little gray lines. So we're just changing this one up totally. All right, so that was 600. Now I want 400, and this is just going to be a little bit darker around the edges here. See, they look kind of hairy and furry. Now I don't know if these beavers look so happy and friendly, but I don't know if they are in real life. I know they can be very damaging, right? Like sometimes they're blocking water that needs to get somewhere. All right. So we're just putting that so that there's just a little bit, you know, a couple different colors going on. Then I want to take number 300. Now this one is even darker. It's not the darkest one, but it's a little bit darker. And I want to go like underneath here where the head comes out. And then it will look like his head is really sticking out. I'm also going to put a little bit here so that his nose looks like it's sticking out too. So you just want to have, but you don't want a lot of the dark because the dark goes a long way. So put a little bit there, and again underneath here so that his head looks like it's sticking out. You are so cute. So how did that look? I think that looks pretty good. All right. Then I also have, this is another one of the tones, number 700. And I don't use a lot of the higher numbered ones, and I probably should, but this is number 700. And I'm going to do his little nose and hers as well. I should use it more often because I really like this color. I just, you know, I just always grab certain ones over and over and over. All right, so let's do our hearts, and then we can put our card together. So I'm just using the light poppy and the dark poppy. Because not only did the little missus make the heart, she painted it so it looked all cute too. She had some extra lipstick from Valentine's Day that she painted on the twigs. All right. So that is that. And now we can start putting this cute little card together. So let me get this out of here and make it a little bit cleaner. All right, so let's bring our card over. So we have, so this is the outside guy. All right, so I'm going to poke these again like I did before, kind of towards the front. You just don't want to tear, you know, because it is kind of a delicate die. You know, because they're kind of, you know, some of these are kind of thinnish. All right, so that's going to be right along the top there. So I'm going to do the same thing as I did before, where I'm going to use the card shape itself to something popped up on the computer and I was like, what? So I'm going to use the card this shape in order to glue this one so that it's in the right, right place or whatever. All right, so the same as before, I'm going to use the green tip glue and go around my edges and in here on these trees. But like I said, when you do a full-size card, you get more of the die and you get like a bottom of it too, where when I did the 4x4, it was kind of like an open arch because it was cut shorter. But this way, I got a whole, one that goes all the way around. All right, and I just cut these all the same shape. So these are all 4 by 5 1/4, so that they would stack, and glue really good together. All right, this one is kind of bugging me a little bit. So I'm going to cut myself a new one. Okay, so I did myself another one because that was bugging me. Oh, all right, so let me get my, which one was it? It was 600. So I'm going to do the same thing as I did to the other one, where I just added a little bit of color here and there. But this I think would be really cool if you did it in white, and then you could go in and you could actually color the color these green and things like that, like a real tree. But I want this to look more like the den of my beaver, so I'm kind of keeping them kind of in the browns, right? Like he has built this little cave for his family. All right, so that looks good. So now this is going to lay on there, so you can see the same kind of layering. So what I do when I put the die on, when I do the full one, when I do the full card, it makes it a lot easier than the 4x4. So what I do is I just move the die up or down. So you see I have more space down here, so that I know that it's going to give me a really good dimensional look. All right, so let's glue to this like I did before. So we have so many things that would work with this, and you could just put a greeting and you wouldn't even need those other layers. But I just was like, oh, because I had my little cute fluffy friends on my desk, and then I thought, oh, the little beaver would be so cute. But the bear would be too. I think the bear would look really cute in this. We have that little pickup truck. That would look kind of cute in there as well. All right, so look how fun that is. So he's inside this kind of a little burrow here. All right, so this one is the front one because that one has the greeting. So I'm going to take, so I have this one. This one's a little thicker. So I think I'm going to go like this. And then this, and then this. So doesn't that look kind of cool? I think that looks kind of cool there. All right, so I might put a little on here. What is this? This is 300. Just because the pecan is a little bit darker. So I'm just going to put a tiny little bit on here as well. Then you just kind of emphasizes that angle. Okay, so see, now you can kind of see that angle better. All right, so just like before, I'm just going to put the adhesive on the edges because that's where it's going to be glued on the card. I don't need to put any in here because, you know, the beaver's in there. Okay. That looks good. I got a little zealous with my glue there. This would look cute too because that beaver set, that, whatchamacallit, that Fluffy's Friends, this would have been cute too. I could have stamped the sticks. That would have been cute. Now, of course, it's too late, but that would have been fun to stamp some sticks on there. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to glue this onto here. And then our sending our love. And this has already got quite a bit of dimension going on because of all the layers. So I'm not going to put dimensionals on the sending our love, because it's already sticking out enough, I think. Because I'm also going to glue this on a piece of pecan pie. So I'm going to glue this on a thin little border of pecan pie. So if I have anything sticking out, so I can see a tiny little bit sticking out here. So I'm just going to do like I did before, and I'm just going to trim that along there. That looks good. All right. And this way, it kind of matches the tree that's in here. All right. But I like how that gray is in there. So you can see that little bit of gray. All right, so I'm going to glue this on. And this is just a little more wiggle room, the green tip glue. Especially when I have just a tiny little border there. It's just a little bit more user-friendly than the seal. All right, so sending our love. Let's get the little misses on the inside before I forget. And I'll just use the seal for her. But this would be fun for any kind of card, right? It could be just, oh, you can see I even splattered on the inside. This could be a wedding card, right? Because you're like a Mr. and Mrs. I mean, it's just fun because it's just sending your love. So it doesn't really matter, you know, what the occasion. You're just sending our love. And then that's going to go there. So again, there's a tiny little border. So I'm going to use the green tip glue again, just because of that tiny little border there. So you have a tiny little bit of wiggle room before it sets up. Now, these little guys are really kind of delicate. So once your card is done, you can simply see, you can see where it's laying. So it's laying right there. Where's my pick tool? So I'm going to pick this up with the pick tool, and I'm going to put a little, just a tiny little green tip glue there. And just tack that down. So when I put it in the envelope, it's not going to bend all to pieces. So the same thing here. I can see that that is laying right here. So you don't want a whole lot. You just want a tiny little bit, just so that it doesn't get damaged going in and out of the envelope. All right. So there is that one. So I do like that little bit of the gray, and I could still add more if I wanted. So let me show you the one I did ahead of time. So this is the one I did ahead of time, and so you can see the difference. I didn't put that gray, which I totally can still, and I didn't splatter, and I could still splatter, right? It would just splatter the whole thing or whatever. But you can see the difference. Adding that little bit, I like that a lot better, just because then it looks more like he's in that cave. So where is my light gray granite. So it's just a soft kind of touch there. But that just makes it look like you're looking inside the cave. All right, so here is the catalog version. So I brought the one over that I didn't trim that. And here is my twist. So I didn't put bling on either one of them just because they've got a lot of layers and stuff like that going on. But so let me know what you think. All right, so let me say, see you later, alligator. And tomorrow, don't miss coming back tomorrow, because look what I got. I got my February Sweet Springtime Paper Pumpkin. And so I'm going to be doing that for you tomorrow. So if there's ever anything you want me to show, please reach out to me. Let me know, because I love suggestions. So Rhonda, I'll get this card off to you in the mail. I'll send the one where I didn't trim the little thing, so then it's more like the catalog one than the one that I didn't pay attention where I was going. So anyway, so have a great day, everyone. I will see you tomorrow. That will be at 3 o'clock Arizona time, same channel. So have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, bye for now.